This all got started when just a client in Rainmaker sent me a request if I could just teach her about systems. So I said, what system would you like to learn? I started listing them, and she goes, all of them. I go, oh, that's cool. If you're looking for something like that, I'm sure a lot of other people are doing it. So I said, I'm just going to dedicate January, because I thought January would just be a real good month just to take a massive review, making sure our swords sharp when we get into 2019. So today we're going to do the enrollments, and this is an enrollment system that I first designed when I opened a smaller school in Boca Raton, Florida. I was looking to have a small school. I think when we went in there, it was a really, really beautiful location. It was a footwear store for athletes, and it was just decked out really nice. It was all brick and had real cool lighting. I thought it'd make a real nice martial arts school. There was a ton of stuff in the shopping center that had to do with kids. I measured out my floor. I only had 900 square feet to actually put a mat. And so my goal was to fill that up with 150 students paying $200 a piece and keep everything pretty lean. So the whole idea was to have a real good martial arts instructor on the floor that's producing great results, someone on the front counter, and that was really going to be my staff. So when I started to do that, it said a couple of challenges. We've been used to doing one-on-one intros, so we're going to have to put the intros on the floor. So that was doable. And since the instructor was teaching back-to-back classes, we had to make enrollments pretty easy. Easy enough so we could give people a letter to read that talked about the philosophy of our school. It talked about the enrollments, and we can put the kids in a group class. After class is over, they could walk up to the front counter, talk to the woman behind the front counter, show her the letter, and she could fully explain it in a short amount of time and get that signed up. So we called the enrollment made easy. Some people call it the BOCA pricing list. So there's a lot of names for it, but I'm going to kind of review that in more detail today. So let me get to my sheet. And so this school was called East West Karate. And it was called the Black Belt Success Cycle. The Black Belt Success Cycle, meaning a student walking into the door and how we had different steps to follow to get them to the level of Black Belt. So people came in and took a Intro 1. That was the first lesson. The whole idea is during this Intro 1, we had a lot to go over. We wanted to make sure we really found out the benefits of the child, so we used to make an appointment a few minutes early. We did like a 10-minute tour before the class started. The whole idea, again, was discovering their why, what's broken in their child's life, or what they want different in their life that they're coming to see you. Maybe it was just an activity, but that's an important part of someone's life. Parents want to make sure that their kids are active, not just watching video games or playing video games. They want them physically active. So that was a legitimate thing. It could be that they're looking for self-confidence, self-esteem. They want self-defense. They want to lose weight. But the important thing was to find out what was going on, because people aren't just going to sign up for martial arts. People are going to sign up for a solution to whatever challenges they had. So it's really important, even when we weren't doing a one-on-one, during our introduction to them, asking questions, give them a little tour of the school. We had them explain exactly what they're looking for, and at the same time, show more interest. So if someone said they're looking for self-confidence, I want to make sure that during the tour I go, just curious, what's happening in your child's life right now that tells you he needs more self-confidence? And she may go, mom may go, well, he's almost afraid to go to school. I don't know if he's getting bullied, but there seems like it's something deep. So again, I really want to get a handle on exactly what they're looking for. When we're doing the tour, I want to make sure that I had a chance to introduce the parent to one of my longtime parents. So when I said this is a great place for you to sit and watch classes, this is Miss Smith next to you. In fact, that's Mrs. Smith's son right over there, Bobby. Bobby's been here for 6 months. Absolutely loves the program. If you have any questions, make sure you ask Mrs. Smith. My goal here was to get a parent that is happy with the program, talking about my program so I didn't have to do it. When I'm trying to sell my program, that's one thing. When someone else is giving testimonial to what my program does, to me, that's a higher level. Now, when I come into class, I want to make sure that I really introduce the new student. It's not just, hey, everyone, we got a new kid in class. This is David. Let's get going. No, I want to make sure I'm going to take him up in the front. I'm going to have him there for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, have a little fun with him. Hey, everyone, this is David. Everyone give David a hand. David, what's your favorite thing to do? David goes, play video games. No, David, wrong answer. You got to say karate. Oh, yeah, favorite thing is do karate. So the whole idea is I'm having fun. I'm trying to make the child feel very comfortable. I'm trying to get the other kids to realize that David's coming in. He's going to be a little nervous. We got to make him feel welcome. So I want all my students to make him feel special. I want mom looking at me and go, wow, this guy is really good with kids. He's taking the time to make sure my child is having a good experience and making him feel welcome. All that's going on just through the introduction. Now, my class is going to be my class. I'm taking an intro class. But I'm also going to wait a little on what David's mom's looking for. David's mom's looking for confidence. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing bullets of confidence throughout the class. Okay, everyone stand nice and strong. I want you to be really confident. Chest out, breathe deeply, eyes forward. This is how we prepare ourselves, by acting confident. We have to act confident to become confident. So all these benefits I teach every single day, I'm just going to put a little more emphasis on those people trying class. So she sees exactly not only what we do in class, but how we teach those life skills. That is step one. Step one is having someone show interest in your school. Maybe they walked in the door, maybe they referred by a friend, maybe a cold called them, but they made it into the door. So when they make it into the door, that's their first step. So I want them to take that first step. That's their introductory class. That's their trial session. This is where the parents, I actually give them the pricing sheet that I'm going to show you later. So she's reading about the philosophy of my school. As mom's watching class, she's reading about, this is a black belt school. Your child's taking the first step. Our next step is, and we talk about the next step being our 6-month welcome package. Okay, let me just make sure I did that checklist again. This is my checklist for myself. So again, I want to make sure I understand the benefits that the student's looking for. I want to make sure I do a benefit-driven tour. If you don't know what a benefit-driven tour is, everything in your school has a function. You have chairs, the function is to sit down. Well, that seems pretty obvious, but when I'm talking to the mom, I go, you notice we have chairs in school. This is so parents can sit. Our school is a very family-oriented school. And so we want to make sure that parents have a good viewing. A lot of parents come and support their kids through all the lessons, and we really, really enjoy that. Next thing is I've been talking like only mom's in the class, and that's fine because mom is usually the decision maker. But when I sign people up for this introductory class or this trial class, I'm going to make sure I invite both mom and dad because I want to make sure the decision makers are there. So after the first step, we talk about the second step, that they're ready to enroll. Again, I mentioned this, introduce a parent of an adult, to an adult student. Introduce a prospect in class, make sure that make this fun and safe. I want to make sure, this is what I already covered, the benefit of the class or the benefit in the class. So if we're talking about losing weight, I'm going to be talking about fitness in the class. At the end of the class, I want to congratulate the prospect on a job well done. We usually like to end this after class if we have a new person there. All my students are going to line up. They're going to give me a high five. I'm probably going to have the brand new student next to me. So after all my students give me the high five, they're giving this prospect a high five too. Again, I want to make him feel really welcome. After the class, I'm going to ask the prospect how they enjoyed class. I'm also asking what they like best about class. In other words, I'm asking questions that are going to evoke a positive reaction. I'm also going to make sure that when I start talking to the prospects and the parents, I'm using results language. So results language is, in as short as 6 months, you're going to see a huge change in your child's self-confidence and self-esteem. So we're talking about results. Kind of think about this when you're watching a video on fitness and someone's go over some machine. they show you pictures of people just starting out, and then they show the results, how this person lost 40 pounds in only 10 weeks by buying this equipment. They don't show the hours of this person sweating and not eating and suffering through a diet. They talk about results. And that's what we want to talk about to parents. We don't want to talk about what we're going to do in every class and how we're going to teach 5 techniques per class. And that's not important. What we really want to talk about is results. Parents want to know if they're signing their child up for the program, are they going to see the results that they're looking for? And this may not happen after a month, probably not going to happen after 2 months. That's why I try to use results that are at least 6 months, if not a year longer, because I want to explain to the parents that we can get the results you want, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and we're looking for some type of commitment. So after the class, we're going to sit down to the parent, or in the case of my Boca school, I just went over to the parent and I said to them that our next step would be our welcome program. I'd like to bring you over to the front counter. I'll stand there a couple minutes. I want to introduce you to Cindy, who's running my front counter, and she can take care of us signing you up for the next step. So the first thing on this letter, and the first thing that my front and office person is going to do, is explain that we are a black belt school. Our school is a black belt school, meaning the goal is to get you to the level of black belt proficiency in the next 36 months or so. We'll get you in the best shape of your life, arm you with self-defense skills, and more importantly, empower you with confidence, integrity, self-esteem, patience, and an indomitable spirit. So we're just sketching out long-term results. Your next step is our welcome package. I really like this next step. I think people can identify with that. To me, it's like when someone's coming to see you as a martial arts instructor with a broken child, they want to know what steps their child has to take to get results. No difference if I went to a doctor. I won't go to a doctor. He gives me an exam, and he goes, okay, this is what we found. Your next step for treatment is this. He's the expert. He's not going to give me a laundry list of options. He's going to tell me from his expertise, having seen this happen before, helping someone with this problem, the next step of action is this. So after I paint the picture of the black belt, I'm going to explain to the student or the prospect, your next step is our Welcome to East West program. This is a great program to further advance your studies and give you time to see if black belt training or exclusive leadership program makes sense to you. This is a 6-month program establishing solid basics, protocol, and intermediate self-defense skills. Now I'm going to explain the welcome package. So the welcome package includes 6 months of training. You can attend twice a week. Class are 30 minutes. It's that time frame we will cover conditioning, self-defense, basics, traditional patterns for balance, training accuracy, speed, and power. It also includes monthly training incentive evaluations or stripe testing to make sure you're on track and progress at a good rate. In our kids program, we'll also follow the guidelines of Black Belt Excellence worksheets and includes their uniform. And then we're going to get right to the financing. The total cost of the welcome program is $995. Option 1, this is if you have the school finance your program, is $295 down and 5 payments of $140. Option 2 is one payment of I'm sorry, reading too fast. Option 2 is one payment of $795. You save $200. Since I wrote this about a year ago, we have changed the terminology a little. We basically say there's 2 ways to finance a program. One is if the school arranges financing. It's $295 down and 5 payments of $140. If you like to finance it yourself in one easy payment or prepay the program, it's only $795, a total savings of $200. Now it's our time just to listen. So now we're not going to say anything more. We're going to just listen for questions. Some people are going to ask you questions about the payments. Some people are going to ask you more about the schedule. But really the schedule in this text that I just read you is given to people before their class. So mom and dad are reading this information while the class is going on. Now we're just going and rereading it in front of them. So you may feel questions about what times are the classes. You know, if they had questions on the schedule, they may want to know who the instructor is. They can ask you some questions. And the whole idea right now is to actually bring this down to a yes or no answer. That was pretty cool. William Pierce did a write-up the other day, and he was talking about people that have to leave and think it over. When people want to leave and think it over, 99% of them you're never going to hear from again. And if you try to get a hold of them on the phone, they're going to be hard to get a hold of. So I would really want to come down to the final objection during this. So if they say, well, I can't give you the whole payment right now, but I want to do option 2. Could I give you a $200 payment right now and pay the other $595 when I come in for the second class? That's fine. That's a legitimate question. I usually find when you're talking to people, they fall into 2 categories. One is someone who will negotiate. In other words, they have confidence. They're going to come front counter and they'll go, "Oh, this sounds good. I'm a little bit shocked on the price. In fact, even though $295 is kind of steep right now, is there anything we can do?" Well, you can answer that type of question. You can say, "Now, I can't discount the whole cost of the program. However, if you want to put a smaller amount down, just the 5 payments would change a little, what could you comfortably put down?" So that's a parent who wants to actually talk it over and they're not afraid to negotiate with you. Then you have parents that are afraid to negotiate. One of these things is too much. Maybe they're worried about the 6 months. They have a concern. So what they're going to say is, "Hey, all this looks good. He really loved the class. What we're going to do is we're going to go home and talk about this, and we'll get back to you next week." That's fine. You know, this is one of those situations I'm prepared for, and I'm just going to be relaxed. I go, "Yeah, I understand it is an important situation or an important thing to think over." When you're choosing a martial arts school, a martial arts instructor becomes a very important part of your child's life. I know it's a big decision, but just so I know I gave my presentation clearly, what exactly is it you have to think over? Is it the payment process or is it the one-time payment? So just from experience, I know most of the times what they have to think over isn't the schedule, it isn't anything, but it's the money. Or they may just say, no, I'm happy with this. It's a 6-month commitment. So that's one of the reasons that I recommend that we have a 30-day right to cancel within the first 30 days. 6-month program, I think they should be committed to. But if someone's not happy after 2 or 3 weeks and they just don't want to come back to my program, I'm going to say, okay, fine, we'll cancel the remainder of the program. I would probably even give any money that they gave me back to them. So it's like a 30-day total satisfaction guarantee. That should really help the challenge of any type of commitment. I know there's a lot of things going around the industry right now. Is it better to do just month to month, which I think is easier to do because if people come in and just pay month by month, that's an easier sale. But at the same time, I have financial responsibilities in my school. I also know that I really can't change a kid that has low self-esteem in 30 days. It's just impossible. There's a book out, I thought it was by Bob Alexander, but I think it's by Zig Ziglar. It's talking about raising positive kids in a negative world. And it talks about how many kids have positive self-esteem when they go to first grade, and like 80% of the kids have low esteem when they go into third grade. If a kid's broken like that, it took them 2 years to get broken, I'm not going to make it a change in 30 days. And I'm going to bring up front with the parents of that. I would like to do this in 30 days. I've been doing this for a long time. I can make a little difference in 30 days, but it's not going to happen. If you want to commit your child to 6 months, which flies by, you're going to see a great results in the child. So that's why I like term programs, because I think it's morally correct. Also like term programs because I have a financial responsibility to my school. If I can get half the people that come in and sign up on my welcome program to pay in full, that really helps with the finances of the school. If I had in this case, I signed up 10 people a month. I had 5 people give me $800. That's $4,000. That can make a huge difference in the finances. They said, well, once they're paid in full, I'm not going to get payments anymore. Well, that's not really true, because we're just talking about the first step right now. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the second step, or the third step. And the third step is getting involved in our long-term program. A lot of students can no longer pay in full when they're doing long-term, so now they're going on monthly payments. So with this nice type of a 6-month program and follow up with a upgrade program or leadership program, we can get strong finances in the beginning, and then we can get building our monthly receivables when they go on to the longer term program.
Okay.
I think it is a lot easier signing people up in a martial arts school now than it was in the past. And the reason I say that, when someone comes into your school, and probably the majority of people that come in to sign up their kids are moms 24 to 40 years old, they've done their research. They're used to buying online. I would almost guarantee that they've read your website, they've read other people's websites, they read articles about martial arts. You're not having someone come in that just heard about martial arts and knows nothing about what's going on in your town. I know that if I'm looking for a new restaurant in town, and I'm sure I'm not unique on this, is I read reviews, I look at pictures of the restaurant, I even look at the menu. When I go to the restaurant, I probably already know what I want to eat. So when people are looking for your martial arts school, parents do a lot of research. They don't want to go experiment and take 5 introductory processes at 5 different schools in the town. They're doing the research first. They find out one that kind of fits their personality. You did a good write-up and they're ready to go. So I think it is a lot easier. I think sometimes we make it too hard. I was at an event one time, and there was someone from FedEx speaking, and he was talking about the martial arts industry, because it's a martial arts event. He goes, you guys make it way, way too hard to sign up. First, I've got to make an intro. I come down, I take the intro, I've got to memorize the student creed, I've got to memorize this, I've got to talk in Japanese, I've got to prepare for a test, I've got to come back to second class, my whole family's got to show up, I've got to break a board, I've got to do this, I've got to test to see if I qualified. Just let them sign up. Don't make it difficult. It's almost like you're chasing people away. So that's why I call this the easy enrollment procedure. Okay, that is my 26 minutes. I will put this, just so you have this, in case you want to make a PowerPoint presentation. A lot of people like PowerPoint presentations. A lot of people want to just make a flip chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a PDF, a file of this. I didn't make this real fancy. I'm sure you can do a much better job with pictures of your instructors and pictures of your uniforms. So if you do want a flip chart to do, I think most people have already had the easy pricing letter, but just in case, I'm going to make a PDF copy of that, and I'm going to post that on Rainmaker's Business Solutions also. Any questions, comments?
Awesome. As usual.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Yeah, that's how we do our enrollments. That's how I do that.
Do you?
I have an iPad, and I just go from step to step. What I don't do is give a handout to the parents when they come in, but that'll start today.
When I first gave the handout, and with Shane Simpson in Washington, he goes, man, I don't know if I want to do that. And then he said, I started watching the parents, and the parents are sitting there, and they're actually reading it, and they're totally prepared when the class was done. He goes, I couldn't believe how many people actually signed up, because on the pricing sheet, I have a checklist, and you can check off if you want to do option A or option B. So I was totally surprised how many people came and had it checked off, and they really didn't have that many questions. So,
yeah, that's super. Plus, it'll give them a minute not to look at their phone.
Exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to make a recording of this, and I'll post it on in a few minutes. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the upgrade invitationals, and that'll should cover our system, so we can get back into the meetings on marketing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.